How's it going, everybody? So, I'm here to answer questions. So, if anyone's got questions, I will be more than happy to answer. Regarding the information, the boots, anything like that. My host was supposed to be here, but I don't see her. Oh, sorry, you must have came on to my actual guest. You can be a guest if you want.
I'm here.
It doesn't matter. More awareness, the better. I guess I must have, like I said, I must have sent you a guest invite, which is all right if you can still talk, or you can tell
Hello.
me. You can tell me about.
I am I am Suzette from South Africa, the psychic medium you've spoken to
Yeah,
in regard of Dylan.
yeah,
I am the one that told you that your son is in Michigan. I spoke to you today
yeah.
to send you the yeah, you remember.
I definitely remember. You could explain to us what the place looked like. See, my goal is if people live out there, then they can at least try to see if that home is in that area, or if they see a place like that and see a kid in the backyard, they could take a picture, send it to me. Because
Okay.
to call the
I will
FBI and stuff like that, they're not going to listen to me because it's not their
I
jurisdiction. So
want
it's a really tough situation.
okay. I want to explain to you. The house in the picture that I sent it to you, that house looks like that. It's just kind of bigger from my view, from where I was at viewing it. It's completely white, just below the roof and um, on top of the windows. There's like dark wood panels that goes parallel like this with one dark wood panel that goes horizontal. It's like a beautifying feature of the house. The
Okay.
driveway looks exactly like the one in the picture. The garage of the house is also situated to the right side of the house. When I had this vision, I saw Dylan as a 7-year-old with his back turned to me on his way to the front door of
Yeah.
the you know, I see him in flesh, not in spirit.
That's a good thing.
I know your son is alive. I am very sorry that other people came and they told you horrid stories about your son. I strongly feel that Dylan, to use this word, was sort of trafficked. If you understand what I'm saying to you,
I
he
know
was
what that is.
stopped
Yeah.
for money. And I also feel that these people drove with him en route to a airport. You know what? These traffickers always got fake documents at hand where they put a photo on,
I
and
believe
that's
that.
how they get kids across the border. What I strongly feel, I am so sorry that I only became aware of this case on Friday.
Yeah.
4 years later, I believe. Am I correct?
Yes.
Um, okay. This will be considered a cold case now.
It's
It went cold. I wonder if you guys have any means of getting a detective to open up that docket again, and start to investigate this right from the start. I don't know why I get the feeling that from the start this wasn't investigated very properly.
no, it wasn't.
Um, I just get that feeling. I also feel that when your son was alone, he was left alone in the backyard. I also feel he was unsupervised. It's not true that the grandmother just turned around and then saw he's gone. When she turned around again, I saw her inside the house. Particularly, I saw her in the lounge area of the house, and he wandered around the house to the front.
Okay.
I told you that. And I know. Look, I I was contacted by one of your helpers,
Yeah.
and it
She's a
immediately
wonderful
touched
supporter.
me. I started getting visions, and
Jill, you're talking about,
that's
right?
when me and you,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah, she's a very
that's when
wonderful
me and
supporter.
you, that's when I connected to you. You know, the moment that anybody comes out with, I need dates, I need the date of birth, I need
Okay. Fair enough. It seems like you're probably right. I don't know much about medium psychics, but that seems like if they actually have the abilities, then they should be able to know certain things like that. So, and they should need birth dates and that to get a vibe on where he could be, I guess, in a
some.
sense.
I What I told you this for is honestly visions that I keep getting. Um, and I feel this case should be reopened again. You should start there. I told you when we spoke on Friday that, pardon me for a sec, when we spoke on Friday, I told you you're not going to find your son's body because he's not dead.
Yeah,
Remember that.
I remember that. And
I
for it being cold, it's a cold case, but I mean, he still has a lead investigator. He still follows up on all tips. So it's still active, I guess you could say. How much they do behind the scenes, I'm not really sure. With the new information about his boots, I'm not sure what they're doing either, but I imagine they're doing something right now.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
For a 3-year-old, say within 5 minutes, to just disappear from clear view in a street is impossible.
Yeah, I was talking to one of the best medium psychics. He's like a professional profiler also. I can't think of his name, but he told me he's like to tie a dog and lose sight of a child for a minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes. You know where that child's at. So I've always had that stuck in my head like there's no way she just didn't see where he went. And he's always like, they need to go back to the foundation. The foundation would be the grandmother. She's the one that lost him. So I
And
always kept that in my head that that's what I
I
feel.
also feel when a polygraph test, I know the courts in South Africa also do not make use of polygraphs. But when a polygraph test comes back inconclusive, it means that the person told some truth, but also lies in between.
Okay. I was under the
It's
influence that
like
it
a
was
present.
inconclusive is more or less it just didn't work proper. And that could be because of medication you're on, or people never think of this, but parents' remorse when it comes to certain cases. Parent could have parents' remorse and it's not going to read you proper. But little things like that can affect the machine.
Have you guys ever considered um, having a narco analysis on your mother-in-law?
What is that, sorry? A polygraph test?
No,
I don't know what
a
that is.
narco analysis are done by psychologists registered to do that.
And what exactly do
Um,
they do?
what they do, they actually put a person, it's not a hypnosis. They make use of medication under medical supervision. um, we, the psychologist, actually takes the person back to that day.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
And we they start to talk. Because can I tell you something? I feel, honestly, I picked this up. This grandmother has got extreme guilt inside of her because she lost her grandson.
Okay.
And you know what? The human brain is very complicated. Sometimes we just cut certain things out that hurts too much.
Yeah.
But I strongly feel Dylan is alive.
Thank you. I feel that most days too, especially now than ever. After
He is
the
alive.
update about his boots, it gives you more hope, right? He didn't go into a brook or a river. He could still be out there. So it definitely, and like you said, you feel
I'm
that he's alive and he's at this specific place, and I really pray that we can
I'm
find him.
trying to get I'm trying to get clients of mine in Michigan to start making flyers
That would be
for
amazing.
Dylan.
That would be amazing.
I'm not in here. I'm not doing this to get recognition.
I
I
understand
don't
that.
do it to get famous. I'm kind of a person out of the limelight. I do this because I can put myself in the position that you are in. And I can just imagine what you are going through.
It's it's a nightmare.
Between hope and despair. I'm not the type of person that ever gives false hope to anybody. I can just relate to you what I see, what spirit shows me, and I'm very determined to help you find your son
Thank you.
because I honestly feel they're not going to get his body because he's not dead. I feel your son was trafficked. It happened so fast. You know, if we've got a great grandson that's 3 years old now, if he wanders down the street and we find he's missing, we will still have sight of him. It's impossible for a 3-year-old to disappear in thin air.
Yeah, and then they're saying 18 seconds, so that's pretty
It's
fast.
very false. I mean, honestly, yes, you can turn around and be busy with something, and your child can fall in the pool right behind you, but you'll hear the splash.
Yep,
If you understand what I'm, and you'll be able to get your child out.
yep.
Something about the story isn't adding up.
It
I
hasn't
think
since the beginning.
I think Grandma was longer inside, and by the time she came out, he was gone. And how on earth will a 3-year-old wander through the streets without anybody noticing that baby walking alone?
Yeah, that's what doesn't. That's what's confusing too. It was COVID-19. Everybody was home, but nobody's seen anything. The nearby neighbors ran to the brook as soon as the grandmother called for help. There was no child at the brook, so that can only mean that those boots that were thrown in the brook were obviously a decoy. I mean, it makes more and more sense. It's like the U.S. Marshal off Nancy Grace from Fox Nation TV. It's their U.S. Marshal agreed. Nearby neighbors run to the brook. Grandmother calls for help. It can only be a decoy. That's what it feels like. It's a very much
I,
possibility.
I honestly, what I saw was the scar
And that white
coming
car.
down the road.
I remember that white car. There was I remember the story about it. I remember a white car. I think they stopped at Wilson's gas station. They mentioned about Dylan. It kind of threw the worker off because he just went missing. So it's like, how do you know? And then something about a white car swerving through the intersection by Mick Wilson's in Truro, Nova Scotia. So the same time he went missing. So it's just, and then you bring up
I
a
mean,
white car, and
I
it's
did
very
not know
interesting.
that.
I know
I
that.
did
Not
not
many
know
people
that.
do, right? Not many people do. So I know you all the way from South Africa, you didn't know about it, I guarantee it. So it's interesting that you brought up a white car.
Because
Well,
I saw it. Like I said, I can only tell what I see in my visions. And
yeah,
um, right now, this is bugging me a lot. I have solved murder cases before, and it also used to bug me like this until I get it resolved. I feel Dylan was trafficked.
for sure.
He's not drowned, nothing. Dylan was
It's very possible.
that couple. were childless that he that bought him.
I mean,
That's what I saw.
if you really think about it, a couple, you find out you can't have children, everyone around you have kids, that depression that you would get off that, I couldn't even imagine. And then what you could probably do to get a child, I couldn't even imagine, right? So it's possible, that people out there do anything they can to get a child, especially if they have a horrible background, right, and can't get through children's services or wherever you would adoption services. So they would go in other means, and they would definitely probably buy kids. So, especially someone that's going through depression of not being able to have kids and wanting a kid that bad. So,
And they might think that child services take too long, or they might have kept them hanging for a while, and then this
yeah,
happened. But it's also a very selfish route to go.
it definitely is.
A child away from people that love them. Things like this tears families apart.
Tears them apart. It tears the community apart. I know all about that. I had a life. I had, two cars. I had a job delivering milk and pizza products. I was happy, and then he went missing, and it's just been a fucking shit fucking slides
Nightmare.
downhill, and I've been sliding downhill ever since. I can't catch a break. It's just shit after shit. I can't seem to get my life back in order. It really messes you up mentally,
I
physically.
know. And to honestly help you. I do not need recognition for this. To me, the payment is when a parent is united with their child, or when a parent gets peace, knowing their child isn't there anymore. I can imagine how you swing between hope and despair all
They
the
say it
time
gets
like a
easier.
parent.
They say it gets easier, but it doesn't get easier. Fucking gets harder.
It's not it's not going to be easier. And I understand this. But I tell you, where I honestly, I get that your son is alive. I see him alive.
Thank you. I'm
It's
hoping with
just that
everything I got.
you've just got to please um let them reopen the case. They must start the investigation again.
I believe they need to do a whole lot of redoing everything, re-question everybody, give everybody a lie detector test. Everybody, fuck you.
I think so.
If everybody does one,
Because
I'll
the
go do
shock,
another one. Like, I don't care. Like, let's just do it.
yes.
Everybody
You are
involved.
hurting
What's that?
you or you are hurting so much. It actually breaks my heart. And I can just tell you that to
Thank you.
honestly help you locate.
Thank you. Thank you for your support and helping me. I should probably get on here and start answering questions, 'cause that's what I'm supposed to be doing,
I
but
think so. And I'm going to, for now, say bye bye to you
okay.
because it's late in South Africa.
What
I'm
time is
sitting
it?
here in my pajamas already.
What
Um, it is 9:30.
Wow, it is
Half past
3:31
9
here.
p.m.
It's 3:31
Please,
PM here, so it's really late for you
it's
guys. Well, you
it's
have a
very
good
late. You keep well, and we'll stay in touch.
alright, thank you so much.
If I see anything else, I'm going to inform you, and I'm going to get clients to start um, putting up posters
Thank you so much, that
for
means a
that.
lot to me. And anyone
You
watching,
keep
please
well.
thank you.
If
You too.
there's anybody in Michigan watching, I would please like to request them to start putting up posters of Dylan. It will be
Definitely.
so much appreciated. Let's bring Dylan home.
Let's bring Dylan home. Take care. How's it going, everybody? I was had some moments there, sorry. So, anyone have any questions right off so I can do some answering? Cops know who put those boots in after the fact. So, the Truro police are well aware of the mistake. Ashley went in, had a meeting. She cried. She was with her father. She told Sergeant Hunka and whoever else was at the meeting that she made the biggest mistake of her life and that she identified Dylan's boots wrong. Um, I know that they went to Walmart. They wanted to figure out the receipt from Dorothy for when she purchased the boots 2 weeks before he went missing. So, sometime in April, I guess just before his birthday, April 16th. The problem with that is Walmart gets rid of all documents after 2 years. So, once again, I'm pissed off at the police because like, you guys couldn't have got this evidence and proof 100% back when all this started. I'm sure a family member said, "Yeah, those are Dylan's boots," but in reality, how can you even trust a family member? Like, if I was a cop, I wouldn't, like, ah, you it just makes no sense. But, as far as I know, they looked into Walmart and that was a no-go. They were getting a photographer to take pictures of the boots, different angles and stuff. From the picture that they got, they wanted to just double check that they were different. Well, obviously they're different, but let them do what they got to do. So a photographer was supposed to play with them for a little bit on the Truro police side of things. Other than that, I haven't gotten an update in months. Um, it's it's enough to drive you insane. I wish the cops would just be more open sometimes, but maybe they're on to something, maybe they're not, or just maybe they're just doing nothing. I don't know. The host that was supposed to be on here today with Missing Persons, Canada, she's not here apparently. I'm gonna check my messages, but does anyone else have any questions? I don't have any messages, so I've answered one question I have here, and I don't see any other questions. Oh, here we go. I just was in the wrong spot apparently. Um, beginning your son. Yeah. Who has a gag order on you? Let me read this again. Have been found. God bless. Police here are so corrupt. They have a gag order. What offers you the side of my van? Dylan and you did not take my offer. What is a freak kitty? What are you talking about with a gag order and a van and me and Dylan? What's that about? Is that like a sick joke, or am I reading that wrong? That me and Dylan didn't take your offer about your van? It's a weird thing to say. Anyway, we're gonna pass that. That's a little weird. Oh, please meet with me. Police and RCMP. No. I'm gonna message you after this live podcast or YouTube thing. I'm going to screenshot so I have that. Dylan is the little boy that went missing in Truro, Nova Scotia. Yes. Matthew, what's going on is I put out an update about my son about boots that were found in the brook back on the first day they searched for my son. The fire department divers or RCMP divers, sorry, they found boots in a brook and his mom identified them as Dylan's. And then it turns out she was wrong and they're not Dylan's, and she had a meeting with the police. So that's a big change after 4 years investigating my son. Um, I know I've always felt that there's something off with my son's investigation. I'm with 99% of you. I get that feeling. I'm going to message you after this podcast or this YouTube live, and I'm going to talk to you about what you're talking about with the van and stuff like that. Thank you, Matthew. Um, Dealing with a missing child is unimaginable. It's the most painful thing you can go through. Loss of a child, death of a child. It's everything like that is there are no words for it. It hurts. So you're saying you basically freak kitty. You're basically saying that you have information about my son and you have a gag order and they've attacked you, basically, the cops. I can't wait to talk to you to figure out what's going on. Oh, your child is missing too. You got attacked too for trying to help. So I know who you are, Leanne. You are someone that I dealt with at the very beginning of my son's investigation, where you thought you knew where Dylan was to the point where a cop, the Truro police, had to pretend they were me to talk to you, to meet up with you. And it was regarding, well, it's already been this long, a Kevin DeWolf, older Kevin DeWolf. And I remember that whole story and it was horrific. And I don't honestly think I can trust you. So if I pushed you away, it's probably because I don't trust you. And that whole thing hurt my family a lot. You know, if people come to me with tips and all this stuff, you know, but when you come to me to the point where cops need to pretend they're me, you know, that's really, really crossing the line, you know. If you're not 100%, you can't say things like that. Like, you can make someone look really bad, like really, really, really bad, you know, and I don't think that person deserved it. But then again, you know, I don't know him, but I do know that the cops raided his house and they went through his barns and his attic and everything. So I can only imagine what that guy would have felt like when you came to me with that information and the cops had to pretend they were me and talk to you, and that whole deal was overwhelming. Um, but I'm glad you were there to at least help. It was just really hard, and I can't imagine for the other guy because it doesn't seem like Dylan was there. So for that man to have a bunch of cops raid his house on a tip, I couldn't imagine, especially if he really had nothing to do with it. But I remember that, that stuck in my brain. It'll stick with me for the rest of my life. That was like being in a fucking movie. It was scary. I remember it like it was yesterday. S Unforgettable stuff. The guy we're talking about, he probably did hurt a lot of people. I knew his son a little bit. Didn't really know his father, I guess would be older, Kevin DeWolf. If he does hurt children, then I hope he gets what's coming to him. But I do remember the cops um going through his house. There was no Dylan. And if you believe he's still involved, then you should call the local police and let them know that you still have suspicion. You could call the Truro police, but if you're not in that jurisdiction, it's pointless. Though the way it goes with missing people and stuff is if you have information, you should call your local police department and then they will advise you on what to do after that. If that's get a hold of the Truro police, or usually they will open a file in your jurisdiction and then send it to the Truro police. I can't remember if you told me that or not. I remember it was the first few weeks of my son's disappearance. I was absolutely in shock. I'm going to jump into some more questions if there is any. Um, yeah, that's definitely true. They make themselves look bad. So I'm going to be on here for 5 or 10 more minutes. So if anyone has any questions about anything, here's your chance. Ask away. I can't wait to talk to you about the police and the evidence you have. So here's your chance, guys. Ask me any question. Go ahead. The only leads are that the boots that were found in the brook are not Dylan's. Dylan's mom had a meeting with the Truro police a few months back, and she stated that in a meeting, her dad was there, that she made the biggest mistake of her life and she identified the boots wrong. The boots in the brook are not Dylan's. She went through a video, someone else went through the video first and discovered it. It's not really important who discovered the boots were different. What matters is it's figured out now. But anyway, to be 100%, Ashley went through a video to double check, and we discovered that the boots in the brook aren't Dylan's, so that changes everything. So it goes from boots for Dylan, Dylan possibly went into a brook and drowned that day, to Dylan didn't go in a brook, and whose boots are they? So that's the big question, whose boots are they? Am I taking care of myself? I'm doing the best I can. Life's just shit slides downhill, I guess. I just keep on I just have a lot of bad luck, and hopefully my luck will change one day. And I'm not really worried about my health. I haven't cared since he went missing. I've just been 100% Dylan, maybe I need to start focusing on me a little more than I have been. I've I it's like I hide in Facebook, right? I don't know. I don't even know the right words to say. I haven't had much counseling. I'm very angry. I'm sad. I'm a broken mess most times. Um, I don't know how his other family members carry on with life. Maybe Ashley has Lily and that's her push to carry on. I don't have another child, so I don't have that oomph to, you know, go get things done. I just focus on my only child, and that's Dylan. And I try to get off social media. I fucking try all the time, and then I just get this weird feeling, and then I'm back on. So I can't fucking stop. It's like I can't stop looking. I can't stop talking to resources. I can't stop talking to psychic mediums. You know, fuck, I talk to your everyday people, and it's they probably get tired of talking to me because that's all I do is talk about Dylan. 4 years. It's you can get sick investigating people. Ask cops. They get sick investigating people. It really takes a toll on the brain. So imagine 4 years of it. Imagine I'm a fucking mess. I probably should take that counseling. I'm supposed to start on the 16th. We'll see how that goes. I'm gonna try again. Um, but I've read up. I can't remember what it's called, but it's dealing with a missing child, and counseling may never help because it's the unknown. So it's like it's pretty hard to. Anyway, I'm here to answer questions. I don't want to talk about myself. Go for sure. Yeah, I put your family in danger for saying his name. Okie dokie. Like I honestly don't care. Like I don't think your family's in danger, and you know if you don't have 100% evidence on things, maybe not bring up people's names and have the police raid their house for Dylan and put my family through a whole lot of pain. So and I've seen your comments. I've seen how you treat my family. Just get off my YouTube. Like I don't care for you or your family or anything. All I do is focus on my son. So making shit up, then provide the day, and it fucking killed me. So world of pain. Like I don't. I put your No, you put your family in danger. I didn't put your family in danger. You're the one that started messaging me 2 weeks after my son went missing and gave this unbelievable evidence to the point where cops had to pretend they were me. And then you send a picture and then you remove it, so didn't give the cop time to fucking screenshot it, but then he did because you resent it. It was a fucking messy situation. You know, hurting kids or hurting kids is one thing, stealing kids is a whole other thing. So I don't care. You know, if people are gonna say something like that, then just get the fuck out of here because it's just whatever. I'm not into that stuff. I didn't hurt anybody. You stepped into my life and brought in evidence, and you know, that's not my fault. I'll just block you. I don't know why I get so stressed out. Bye. There. Anyone else have any questions? I don't know why I get stressed out over people. Oh, she's still here. I'll get rid of you somehow. You know, I need a moderator for my YouTube every time I'm in here. I'm a coward. Yep. Yep. Whatever you want to say. I don't think a coward would be anywhere near what I've accomplished in the past 4 years. I'm a coward. Yep. That's actually kind of funny. I'm a coward. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm a coward. That's awesome. I really need like a YouTube moderator so I can get rid of comments and people. Thank you for wanting to look through videos. And the biggest way to help Dylan right now is if you can get posters, put them out, staple them on telephone poles. Anything like that can help. Um, what else can help? Social media, just sharing his poster helps. Just talking about him. Just me doing this live chat helps. It's the little things that really help. Um, anyone in the US that's watching, putting up posters is a good idea, especially with the medium psychic and her thoughts. I still see that comment, coward. That's awesome. I don't think anyone in my shoes is a coward. Anyone dealing with a missing child is definitely not a coward. Anyone that can deal with ransoms and fucking cyberbullying and the most craziest people you've ever seen. You know, being a coward is the last thing I am. You know, I've been through a little bit of everything. I've been through foster homes. I've been through. I went to jail for a few months back in the day. I fucking done stupid things. I've had a gun pointed to my head one time. You know, I've been through a little bit of everything. You know, to be a coward is way. No, I'm definitely not a coward. I've seen and been through a whole lot of everything. So coward's not the right word for me. Brave? Yeah, definitely brave. Strong? I think I'm pretty strong. I'm still here. I imagine most people in my shoes would have drank the bottle away or committed suicide or done a whole lot of things. Um, like my movie producer says, they've never met anyone like me. And sorry, I wear my feelings on my sleeves. I'm not the great talker. I swear a lot. I'm not perfect by any means, and I'm okay with that. All I know is I'm a damn good father and I fight for him, and that's what I'm proud of. Everything else, it's whatever. Um, like I said, not a lot of people out there that'll push as hard as I have. And I'm not saying I'm better than anybody else, just everybody has different levels of strength. Some people shut down, some people can't handle it. It's just everybody has their own strength. But I've grown a lot. I wasn't perfect. Back in the day, I was young and stupid and did all kinds of stupid things with silly friends. But going through everything I've gone through now, I've grown to be a better person in a lot of different ways. Like, material things don't mean nothing to me no more. Like, sometimes my brother will brag about his TV and his PS5s and all this stuff, and I'm like, whatever. Like, that stuff doesn't mean anything to me. I've learned to cherish time a little more, with the ones I love. I've learned to I don't know how to explain it all. I just know I've grown in the worst situation possible. People, there's a lot of rumors about me. There's a lot of rumors, and half of them aren't true. Like, you literally have to come meet me and make your own opinion. Because if you haven't met me, then you don't know me. Um, what you see on social media isn't me. Like, I'm this usually crying and half angry. That's not 100% me. If you were to catch me on a normal day, just doing me things, you'll see a completely different person. I met a couple a few months ago, and they're amazing. They helped me out, and like they said, I'm probably one of the most respectful people they've ever met in their life, and it's heartwarming to hear that. But I am respectful, and I probably learned that through foster homes I've been in. You know, I've I have manners. I have table rules. I have all these things that you know I'm a good person. I don't care if anyone thinks I'm different. Wow, this got read into me. This is supposed to be about Dylan. And then I just kind of started rambling. Videos. Thank you for calling me your hero. I'm Dylan's hero. And if it's the last thing I do, I'm going to bring him home. I have to because I have to. This life is just not the same without him. I'm I'm tired of this life. To be all honest, I'm actually slowly burning out. I'm I probably need some mental health. Some real good mental health. I refuse to take medication because I like to feel my pain. I like to feel my feelings. I don't like to hide from it. So, probably why I tear up all the time is because I'm not hiding from my pain. I'm not usually like this, but I am burning out. It's a lot of work investigating all the time and doing this stuff. It gets to you. Um, but then I have supporters that keep saying, keep going, keep fighting, and that's you guys keep me going. Far from a coward. Lightning. If you want to do a podcast with me or join as a guest or do something since you're from the United States, that can always help. Definitely always looking for doing podcasts with people, especially people with a large amount of numbers. Um, like I did a podcast and that's how I got on with Nancy Grace. You know, it's you'd be surprised the resources you can get from one podcast. This one video I'm making might go far enough that I might get a resource. Who knows? You never know. As long as this video is shared enough times, who knows? I'm always looking for resources or other means of looking for my son. You know, I kind of wish that they put missing people on the back of your milk cartons still. You know, maybe that's something I can fire back up. That was always a good way to spread awareness. That's a random thought. See if I have any more questions. I'm jumping off here in a minute because I'm tired. Thank you, Scotia. I do what I can. I uh, I made a promise to my son the day I found out he was missing, and I said, "Dylan, I promise I will never work. I will never do anything but 100% Dylan." And I promised him that I would just keep going and going and going. And it's I've said it many times. It's one of the hardest things to break is that promise. I know I gotta get my life together so when he comes home, I'll have a life for him. But then I also look at it like this: if he comes home, I'll have my life together, plain and simple. So, but I definitely need to slow down. People that just started following me, I literally searched the whole Bay of Fundy. Like I've searched thousands and thousands and thousands of kilometers in the cold, the snow, the muck, dangerous terrain. You know, I've went as far as I'm using my drone and searching eagle nests. You know, who knew? Who knows? An eagle could have picked them up for all we know, right? So, you know, I had search and rescue, and the cops tell me it was impossible to search the whole Bay of Fundy, and I made it a priority to search the whole damn thing, and that's what I did. There are a few pieces I haven't searched yet, but for at least 89% of that bay I've searched. There might be 15% I haven't yet, and that would be some spots in Wolfville. If anyone's in Wolfville, you guys should search that area down in Wolfville, Nova Scotia, and let me know if you find anything. There's like a stream down that way that I wanted to search too, or like a little river because the bay kind of shoots kind of directly to it in Wolfville. That's pretty well the only spot I haven't really got to. I've got to pretty well the rest of it. That and it's hard being in New Brunswick. I want to move back home, but family sucks sometimes. I'd be blown away if someone reached out and was like, "Time to come home, Jason. We're gonna help you." That'd be something. All right, guys. Any more? Or that was pretty well a whole session on me. So that wasn't supposed to be the deal, but um, any last questions on Dylan? I'll give you guys another few minutes. You guys want to ask me a few more questions on him, not me, but him. Hard to believe I've done this podcast or this live YouTube for an hour. That's crazy. I think that's my longest live. Well, I'm gonna end it. Dylan Ealer went missing May 6, 2020, without a trace in Truro, Nova Scotia. Last known location was 321 Elizabeth Street in Truro. The grandmother turned her back for a brief second to tie a dog, and Dylan disappeared, never to be seen again. Um, Thank you everyone for their support. Let's bring Dylan home.